Ready, steady, go.
Yo, what up, and greetings.
Yo,
Welcome.
what up, and greetings. Your favorite duo, Rivola and Moritz, are here finally.
Finally, two
Yeah,
days before the expansion hits,
yeah, that was kind
we're
of
here to.
cringy, but it doesn't matter. Well, anyway, why are we here? It's the reason is that we wanna kind of take a look on the new upcoming cards and give us give you our opinion about these cards, which about some underrated. What was the next?
The coolest, what we consider the coolest, like those lists are highly subjective because obviously no one knows what's gonna happen. But
Yeah, especially in Wild. When I was actually reviewing these new cards which are coming like quite soon, I was like, wow, the Dead Rattle is gonna be really, really good, because and there's actually not so many Dead Rattle cards, like I don't know, around 10, like
yeah, but
new
the cards
neutral.
that they synergize with are really good.
Yeah,
So it's gonna work like in, and especially in wild, like a lot of them are crazy. So
yeah,
the third
I
list.
can't even imagine the Wild how it's gonna look because there is so many crazy combinations. It's just like
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna be
while this
crazy.
kind of like there's a little balance of power that completely shifts one deck like to the front and another deck to the back. Like I was trying to play Pirate Warrior and it's actually like really bad the deck. And nothing changed apart from like Fiery War Axe and maybe the patches like losing charge. Yeah.
That was actually the worst nerf in the Hearthstone history. I mean the Fairy War Axe. That was the worst, the worst.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And so anyway, like it's completely unplayable, and now sort of odd paladins are reigning. But
It's
I think with the new cards, it could tipple a lot into favor of like token druids because a lot of the cards like are favoring like tree and place and a lot of like tokens.
yeah, I saw, but I think that there will be more like the combo druid because because of the new legendary card, the 3/4, which allows you to replace some legendary card with
Well, I
the
think actually the stronger cards, like I'm gonna talk about it later, is the one that
that was.
pulls the 7, 8, 9, and 10 mana from your deck
Oh
or
yeah,
something
that
like
was.
that.
But I think it was something. No, no, no. That wasn't priest one.
This is a druid one. So it
Well,
basically pulls Aviana Kun
yeah, sure.
and Togwaggle and Azalina from your
Yeah, but
deck.
the problem is that once you will just, if you will not have it at that time in your deck, you are kind of screwed. But I think that which one is better, like more flexible card is the 3/4, the legendary Flabidini, Flobidino's Floop. While in your hand, this is a 3/4 copy of the last minion you played.
Yeah.
That's basically like increase the potential of your combo druid deck so incredibly much that yeah,
Yeah,
I
like
don't
you can
like it.
basically play, I don't know, like Aviana and let her die. Because then you have another
You can
Aviana for free
basically
mana.
play whatever you want, like
Yeah.
like set your combo. So many combinations. But anyway, let's get started. Otherwise we will be here for like another few hours. So as we mentioned, we're gonna review a few of these like new upcoming cards, like underrated, most high rated, some casual maybe. I don't know what was the next.
Hmm. The coolest, yeah,
Yeah, coolest.
in our opinion.
In our opinion. Well, okay.
And yeah, and I have like a list of what I think will change like wild the most because I'm mainly playing wild, so I don't even have that much insight on standard.
Yeah,
But
actually, I have my favorite one. I have my favorite as well.
nice.
Let's get started, and we can go just one by one. You can
Yeah.
pick one by one. So I will give you the first.
Okay. So what's the underrated one on number 5 for you?
Well, that's the I that's the kind of problem, because I don't have a like specific list of the underrated card.
Okay. So
So
which ones you think that are like they are.
the point is that the link, I mean, the website which I'm reviewing is called HearthstoneTopDecks.com, and
Yeah.
you can see actually that people were voting, and yeah, well, there is actually, I kind of agree with these votes. There is for me like not necessarily. I didn't encounter someone which was typically underrated. Maybe just a one. Yeah, actually the one which I'm gonna talk about, but after you is actually the Boom Master Flark. But but as I told you, you got the first one, so go ahead.
Okay. Well, for me, the one that I have on like 5 because I sort of like rated it, but they're all like pretty close. It's the what is it called? Mekaru, the 1 mana 1/1 that summons another 1/1. It's basically like an alley cat for mechs. Mekaru.
Mekaru, yeah, I see. Yeah,
So that one isn't like that one isn't. Oh, on here it's 4.4.
yeah, I
Okay.
see as well.
On
It's actually
another list that I saw was like rated as poor, and I think that
well,
card is gonna be actually like really insane. But from the max, like the ones that second one that I think was really underrated and is like my number one is the 2 mana 1/5, the upgradable. Is it
just
upgradable
give
framebot?
give me the name first, please, so I can
Upgradable framebot,
upgrade one.
I think.
Oh yeah, well, so I don't think this one is underrated because I think it's actually really good.
Oh, 4.1.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm looking at a
4.1.
different. Okay,
Yeah,
I was looking at a different website where it was like.
but anyway, let's talk about it a little bit. Why do you think that it might be underrated, or where did you get this info?
Well, I think that people are looking at it like, yeah, it doesn't actually, look powerful at all because, 1 damage doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, it
Uh,
doesn't, but you have. Oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
think that this creature, like the problem with those creatures when you look at them, is that they seem like they will be helping against things like Odd Paladin or a lot of 1/1s because they have a high health cost, high health amount, and they're cheap. Yeah, so it's like Tar Creeper. But then usually what happens is those cards are then being played by aggro decks more because they're stickier and they
Yeah,
take
that's true.
longer to kill. So
But
it's like a double-sided weapon. The same with the so this is the 2 mana 1/5, and then there's the what is it? 3 mana 1/5 with the magnetic and taunt.
yeah, well, but anyway, my point is like the biggest value of this card is basically the because it's a mech, you will get like 6 stats for 2 mana, and it's actually huge. If you want to use the new type of keyword magnetize or
Yeah.
magnetic, so that's actually six. It's like 6 buff for 2 mana. It's not bad at all. And as you mentioned, if you won't even like buff it in that way, it is still like a sticky minion. So I think it's a really good card.
Okay, so one minion that's here that I have on my underrated list, and it's actually here for 2.8. It's Mechanical Whelp.
I know which one. I remember that one. Mechanical. Yeah. Well. Yeah. Well. You know what? I see the
Because
same.
there's what was the card? There was a card. I think it costs 6 mana, and it's like 2/2. If it dies on your opponent's turn, it summons a 8/8. And that one you had to put like a Stegodon on from a paladin in order for him to kill it, and then you get value from it, or you can somehow trigger Death Rattle or whatever from it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, because it's neutral and because you can actually run it into something the next turn, like it is a target to silence because like right now with all the magnetic effects and the moment like any of the magnetic effects become like prevalent, all decks are gonna run like 2 to 3 silences
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much like
Yeah. Because well.
silenceable stuff
Yeah.
right now that
For sure.
like this is gonna be the first target, and if silences it, then like fair enough, it's pretty crappy for
But
you, but you can
why
then
do you
use a
why
stronger
do you
minion.
why do you think it's underrated? Because I
Because it's like for on turn 6, on turn 5 usually, like for a controller deck or a tempo deck, you play the either a minion to contest the board or a board clear, and then you play this on 6, and it only takes 1 turn for you to sack it. You get
Yeah, but
9 worth of stats for 6 mana in
yeah,
total.
yeah, but you know you're
And
gonna have
but
to
the
wait
main thing
one
is
turn.
that they don't want to kill it on your turn, and there's so much new stuff that triggers death rattles that you can play during your turn before you sacrifice it. Is that I think it's really really good because on turn 7 you can do like play that on it and then taunt both of them up or something like that, or attack with this and then taunt, and you have 2/7/7 taunts with like argent.
Well, may I say my opinion?
Yeah.
I believe it is like it is underrated because of some reasons, and one of the reason I would say is that the card is too slow, and I would say that if you're gonna play this card, it is gonna be in a part of the game where you are already winning. So I think there is much more better cards for such a mana cost. So it is not a tempo card. You're not gonna definitely play in arena. If you would like to play some, I don't know, like crazy combination, still it costs 6 mana, and I believe there is much more better cards for that price. I'm not saying that that's the worst, but I think that the votes are quite accurate because
No, like
it's
in
slow.
arena is definitely gonna be crappy, but like in a deck that's built around death rattles,
Well,
which
but as you said, everyone will be playing silence. So if you just,
yeah,
if
but
you
there
gonna
might be
hold
too
on, hold
much,
on,
there
if you're
might be
gonna
too
play
much
this
stuff
card,
before and after that you want to silence. It might be like a quest priest with this and statues and a whole lot of like death rattle minions before and after, and like which one do you silence because you're
and
only running two.
another point is that since there is so many like low stats like cards with Dead Rattle, there is
Mm.
like huge possibility that priest will start running that like let me change your mind, and it's like it could be like
Well, let me
devastating
change
for
your
them.
mind on this will be crazy. But
Yeah,
then,
well, I'm just saying,
if like obviously if meta shifts like this way, then yeah. But who knows
Or
how priest
or
will
not
like be?
only let me change your mind, there is like that potion for 1 mana or for the 4/4 mana.
Uh huh.
So there is so many ways how you can actually steal this minion, at least for a priest, or so many silence minions. I think if you're gonna play this minion at your sixth turn, and this is gonna be your only minion on a board, and
Mhm.
you will somehow like lose it or it will be silenced. This is kind of like the point which might cost you a losing the game.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if you wanna risk it. And as I said, if you're gonna play it on a board where you have already like winning, it's like already in a stage where you don't need it, such a condition. So that's my point. I'm just saying it is not so OP in my
No,
opinion.
it's not OP, no, but I'm not. I don't think that it's like a bad card if you make a deck that like supplements it, and obviously it needs to have like the right defensive tool because it's gonna be built around.
Well, I guess you might be right, but I don't think so. But I think we will see. I mean, just it's all I can say. We will see.
Lol, there's some like crazy rating on this website.
But
Gl-
anyway, let
gl-
me review my card if I can.
mhm.
And it is not actually so like low rated. It's 3.3 from 1.500 people,
Uh huh.
people, and it is actually a legendary minion for Hunter called Boommaster Flark.
Uh huh.
And I was actually thinking, it's just I don't even care about stats, not even about mana, maybe about mana a little bit. But when when I check the Goblin bombs, if I'm not mistaken, it does like 2 damage directly to the enemies here.
Mhm.
Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and I also during my reviewing all of these cards, I noticed there is actually several other creatures which summon these Goblin bombs. So
Yeah.
imagine you will just set this is 4/02 Goblin bombs. If I'm not mistaken, there is even a card which doubles your dead rattle.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna play this on turn 10, you, Hunter has so many like triggering dead rattles, like 2 for 1 mana, like the Feign that basically you can immediately on your 10th turn do at least it's 16 damage, for 9 mana. And that's a lot. And if you will set some more cards like this, let's say you will set You will manage to have at least another bomb on a board before you will play this one. So it's 5. It's 20 damage, you know. So it's actually crazy. You can achieve some really like OTK deck with this one, and I will definitely try, you know, because there is a lot of potential for this guy. All you need to do is just draw several cards, like 3 or 4, and set a little, you know. But that's it. Yeah, it's quite huge, and that's my opinion. Just prove me
I
wrong.
mean, well, I think that they went like pretty smart about it because they made the Goblin Bomb sort of like Boombots were, right, from Doctor Boom, except for that they're 0/2, so you gotta trigger them, and they can't go into other minions because what would happen, right,
No, no,
was
no, no,
that.
no. I'm not speaking about minions at all. That's the point. They are going directly to the hero's face.
Yeah, 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 no, what I mean is that like the Goblin Bombs, like they are kind of like Boombots but different because they only can target face, and they
Yeah.
always go for 2 rather
Yeah, yeah.
than
So
1 to 4.
that's just count with me. If you're gonna play this minion, just the only one, and you will play those 2 cards which trigger death rattles for 1 mana. So for 9 mana, you're gonna achieve 16 damage to the face in
So
one turn.
what if this guy, what if there's no space on board? Do they die automatically and do 8 damage?
I'm not sure, but if you're gonna just play around, you won't play it while you will not have the full potential of OTK, I guess. You know, I'm just saying that if you will manage at least leave 1 goblin bombs, and I guess the opponent won't be even trying to, maybe will, but won't be even trying to just, you know, destroy them. Maybe it
Mm,
will, maybe I'm wrong. But anyway, I'm just saying that you can make 16 damage on a 9 turn, and that's actually a lot of damage.
true. True, true. All right, it's a decent card, I agree. All right, my next would be the Bronze Gatekeeper, which is a 1/5. It's got 3.4 here, which is not.
Gatekeeper. Okay, let me. Yeah, bronze gatekeeper. Okay, I got it.
So it's a 3 mana 1/5 magnetic taunt, which
I think it's pretty good.
kind
I
of means that like the aggro
you
deck will want to play. They will want to attack everything that you have until turn 3. So you can't play, you can't play
well,
anything to
basically,
attach this into.
if you're gonna play the previous one, which was your first underrated card, that 1/5, the mech
Yeah,
for 2 mana, and if you play this after that one, it's
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 a 2/10.
it's 2/10 with
Yeah.
town, you know, and that's crazy. So it's I don't think it's underrated.
No, but I mean it is underrated because I think it's better than 3 stars, 3.5 stars. I think it's like a 4 star compared to like when I see like some
Maybe,
cards
but
that got here 4 stars or 5 stars. Like I think
I
it's
mean,
actually
just
quite good.
can we, you know, just one. But if you won't get any card to play to combine with this one, which is
Yeah.
actually quite impossible since there is will be like billions of mechs. But anyway, let's consider that this card is gonna be standalone. It's pretty shitty for that mana. But that previous one is actually quite good because it's for like 1/5 or 2 mana.
Yeah, 1/5 for 2 mana is like completely OP. That one on this website that is an underrated, but I think that this one is really like complementing that one plus things like Annoyatron and stuff like that when they only hit it once, and I think that like this will be played a lot. And again, I think that if you actually attach it to something and it becomes a 2/10, then might even be considering silencing that 2/10. And this Dendrologist card, the druid card, Dendrologist, 2/3.
Yeah, I know which one.
If you control a tree and discover a spell. I think that maybe like in standard it's not gonna be that good, but I think that in wild like it's gonna be really good with a couple of the new cards, and like aggro druid is gonna be really strong. Because even cards like Force of Nature isn't actually that bad when you consider having 6/6 worth of stats, which like, well, living mana is obviously like a lot better, but you can't have more than 2 living manas inside your deck. And this will kind of like discover what you want, especially in wild because you have the living roots, so you can summon 2 treants on turn 1, and then you can play this into turn 2, and you're
Yeah,
laughing.
true. But anyway, there is one point I'm not sure if you noticed already. This is not related to the card, but if you are on the same page that hearthstone.net.decks.com, whatever, you know which one I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
So there is you can actually filter by user rating. It's actually quite helpful.
Oh, by user rating, yeah.
Yeah, it's right next to the filter on the left side.
Oh yeah.
So actually I did, and it's actually much easier right now. When I see that Goblin Bomb actually is for 1 mana.
Yeah.
So if you consider that you will play like for the, I mean it's kind of like late game, but I'm just saying for 10 mana you can achieve 20 face damage. That's actually a lot.
So which
But
are
anyway,
the worst here?
yeah, when you go to the third page. But anyway, there is one
I
card
don't
which
think that Harbinger Celestia is that bad actually.
that's my card. I'm gonna talk about. I think it's actually pretty good card because if you you know I mean not for everyone. I would say it's really good for a priest because I was thinking that maybe this season I will try the old silence priest, the old meme, because it actually will become quite good if you consider how many silence it carries. And if you're gonna turn this one like on your fourth turn for 0 mana silence, or that purifier,
Yeah.
it's actually quite good. Like for 4 mana get 5 6, it's actually huge.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, if he doesn't have a minion on his turn and he wants to only play Nourish and stuff like that, even if it
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
stays as a 5/6 for 1 turn, like you've
Or
already made your value back, and then
or
it turns
another
into like a free 6, I don't know, taunt
or
next
another
turn.
point, if you are actually I like this card much more because this card will reward players who have like better knowledge. Because if you play against some specific deck with some wombo combo, you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of counter with this card, because you know that specific, let's say druid, you know that the druid just contains mostly like the ramp cards and then some really huge like Ragnaros, or as you mentioned Aviana, and many other crazy cards which like part of the combination. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna play this one, you kind of like prevent, or just that's the point. You might prevent your opponent to play these cards if they are really strong, and if you have knowledge of these cards, these decks.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty underrated. I think that this card deserves much more than it's really low. But who knows? Maybe we might be wrong, but
I'm looking through like the free under 4 cards for something that I still think is gonna be good. I mean, the 2 mana Void Analyst, the 2 mana 2/2 demon, Desperado, give all demons in your hand +1/+1. Like, it would be good if Kalaset didn't exist, and then you just play Kalaset and you give +1/+1 to all minions in your deck and hand, or in your
mm.
deck, and it's just, it's not worth running 2 of these over 1 Kalaset even, because if you get that, then your zoo deck instantly becomes so much better. And this demonic project, 2 mana warlock spell, each player transforms a random minion in their hand into a demon. That is such a like a combo breaker, like like when they're gathering the pieces. Like imagine the druid playing the 4 mana, like draw the 7, 8, 9, and 10 mana minion from his deck, and he's got like the combo piece assembled there. And then you transform one of them into a demon, and he's like, ah, can't play shit.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, do is there more cards you would like to review? I mean, the underrated.
No, I
I
think I'm
think we
good.
are done. I think maybe there might be some, but I think there are
I
most of
think
these
that the
cards are like more
Astromancer
situational.
is actually really good, but I don't think that it's more than. Well, it's the 7 mana 5/5 summon a random minion that costs equal to the hand size. I kind of
Oh,
have it on the coolest list as well. But I like the mechanic, like summon something or something happens depending on how many cards in hand you have. You know, even the bear, the free 12 minion, and it
which
like
one?
it's from Witchwood. The what is it called? Ironwood Grizzly or whatever it's called. The free
Oh, yeah,
12,
I know which one. Yeah, that's
which
actually
like
quite good one.
I really like the mechanic
Yeah,
which
it's
plays
cool.
with
It
like,
kind
and
of
it depends on how
yep.
much you have cards or opponent has cards in hand. It's really cool.
Well, the reason I like it so much is because it kind of counters these rush decks, and
Yeah.
the only shitty part is if you are saving this card for the best results and you play against Paladin and he's going to play that stupid card for 3 mana which draw entire deck. I, how is it called?
Divine
This
Favor.
Divine Favor, exactly. It's such a
Yeah.
ridiculous card. I mean, I mean, they nerf Fairy War X and they didn't nerf this stupid drawing card.
I I agree. Yeah, no, it's bullshit. I mean, that card is just. At least they should move it to Hall of Fame. You know, if
Yeah,
not nerf it,
that's
they should
it.
just move it to Hall of
That's
Fame
it.
and just at least reduce the amount of BS that the paladins like aggro paladins do because it's just ridiculous. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it is because you finally get into that stage where you finally manage to somehow sustain and keep the board, and you are finally okay. And he's gonna top deck such a stupid card, and you are a control, and he will just draw an entire deck, and it starts over again, and you are done. It's just like fucking annoying. But anyway, let's move on.
Okay. So I have the top five of mine coolest cards are the ones that I look. There's like a lot of cards actually that
There is a lot. I mean, yeah, I agree. There is
I
so
really
many
like the
potential
expansion, like
cards, and yeah,
thematically, and the ideas that they've thrown into it. I think it's quite bold, or like they're going, you
I
know,
mean,
sometimes.
I like it and sort of don't like it because it seems like they reshuffle a lot of kind of minions. And the point I really don't like it is that they really boost a lot of minions in this one. That means that the old one will be just shitty. So basically, for the new players, if they won't get this one, and they had, I'm speaking about players who, let's say, play this game for half year. How many cards can they have? And
But
this
which ones? Which ones in like particular things that are the power creeping cards from the ones that you like? I don't think that there's many. I think it's pretty balanced. I don't know.
well, I'm speaking about these mechs, because the
Yeah.
mechs will take control everything.
Yeah. But it's like with GVG. It's only technically GVG was longer, but it's only technically for 2 years.
What I really miss in Hearthstone, and it's been here for so long. I'm in the game, and I'm wondering why didn't implement it yet. And that's like the tribes. There is so many tribes, like like Murloc, Max, and whatever. But there is so
Mm.
many which are not like yet. Like for example, the trends. We even got some cards which says like how many trends you summon and blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. But there is not a tribe called trend. So I'm just like, why not, or ogre, or
Yeah.
so many other, because there is so many cards and so many tribes. So this is kind of what pisses me off, that they kind of reshuffle the same, max. I don't, take me wrong, I like it.
Yeah,
It's
they should
cool, but
like I don't
it's
know.
like, why
There's
don't they
ideas that
expand
they
a
could
little
do
bit?
like trolls, and there would be,
Yeah,
you know, they already have it.
Goblins,
Like trolls
trolls.
have enrage,
Yeah.
ogres have 50-50 chance to hit something wrong.
Well, there is no longer enrage, my friend.
What is it? When
They
this
they
minion is damaged,
yeah,
gain
when
plus
yeah,
attack.
yeah.
Huh. Okay. Anyways, enrage. I will still call it Enrage Blizzard.
Yeah,
Like I will always
well,
call Czech Republic, and not motherfucking
Czechia.
Czechia.
Yeah, it's so retarded. Okay,
That's it.
anyway,
Anyways.
let's back to the review.
All
So
right. So
what is your
coolest cards.
Mhm.
I have number 5. I have Pogo Hopper, which is a 2 mana 1/1 mech that gets plus two
I know
plus
which
two.
one. I didn't. I will search. I know which one. That's the rogue card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I know. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a really cool card.
Like the concept idea is just so cool, and you can play like the lab recruiter with it, the
I
two
mean, it's
mana.
especially in a rogue's hand, that's the most ridiculous because
Yeah.
you might get so much value out of this card. It's so incredible, actually. And most of the OP cards comes from the druid or rogue.
Yeah. And even the pogo hopper, you can play it on turn 1 and shadow step it straight away.
Yeah, and play it
And
again.
then just keep it like as a
Oh
combo
yeah.
enabler, and you can just like play it and then play a lab recruiter, so you know that you're gonna have another free in your deck.
Or next turn you can play it for 0. It's gonna be already 3/3. You
Yeah.
can take it back with your panda, so it's gonna be 5/5. Next turn you can play it again and take it somehow back to your, let's say, another shadow
Yeah.
step, and so just so ridiculous. And
Or
I
shuffle it a billion times into your deck and make it into Jade.
yeah, yeah,
Nice.
ridiculous. Well, anyway, I think that my most cool card is actually, it's not even here, but it is in combination with two cards,
Uh-huh.
and it is from Rogue, and it's the cartoon Mechatoon.
I mean, it
Mechatoon.
is cool. I do
It,
agree.
but let me tell you, it is gonna work perfectly with the Rogue, which got the for 4 mana that card which draw your entire deck. So let's say you you're gonna somehow set it. You will draw
But
your
you
rogue.
have to somehow like you have to survive with it as a
Yeah, yeah,
rogue.
yeah. But there is actually quite easy way, because you can now shuffle 10 cards of your opponent's class, and they're gonna cost 1 mana. You will basically, my idea of this deck is that you will keep drawing cards for 1 mana, and there is so many way how rogue can actually draw cards. It's like every second card.
That's true.
So I mean, it's gonna be. I mean, it is based a lot. It is based on RNG a lot.
That I
But
mean, definitely.
let's say that
I got the
you will.
best deals. I got the best
Yeah,
deals.
yeah,
I got the
yeah,
best
yeah.
deals anyway.
But the worst is that even though you will get the most shitty cards,
Mm.
they're gonna cost 1 mana. So you can just get rid. You can just spam the board like it's insane. I can't even imagine. You will just keep drawing cards and spamming
It's
board.
like that Luna's Pocket Galaxy that changes
Yeah,
all the
that's
minions in
another
your deck
card which I
too.
would like to speak about. It's like you're gonna basically aha, aha,
Yeah, yeah,
aha,
yeah. I mean, they're
aha,
making the OTK easier and
all day
easier, I
long,
guess.
all day long.
You don't even have to play Quest nowadays. You just play this.
No, why should you play even Quest? It's boring. It's for old schoolers.
Old school. It's for guys like this guy's toast and all that.
Yeah.
You know. Well, I have on my list. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna go by any order anyway now. So the spell, the legendary spell that I have there as like the coolest one, I think, is
Hmm.
the Flark's Boomzooka,
I know
the
which one. It's the Hunter's
the
one.
hunter's one. Yeah.
Uh,
I just find it so crazy that it does summon an attack which you don't even control, and
yeah.
then it dies. So you can play it in
Yeah.
combination with so many cards. It's kind of like RNG based, but you can play it with
Yeah, yeah. That's but but
death rattle minions, or something
yeah,
that buffs your other minions on board, or something that summons something else.
yeah. I think that the only potential is in the Dreadle, because otherwise it's too RNG, and
I
you
mean, I
you will
didn't
get.
say that it was good. I just said it's cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That's true. It is cool, but I mean, I'm pretty sure that someone like this Gastos and these kind of guys will come up with something really crazy,
Yeah.
but who
I mean,
knows?
in the Recruit Hunter or whatever is playing they even played it on the stream when they were introducing it. the 7 mana Vanguard, 7 mana free. Summon a minion that costs 7 or more from your deck.
Actually, I think that this season one of the best will be also Warrior, only because they give him a special new hero, which is Doctor Boom and Genius. And once you will get it, and I can imagine that
Mm.
you will play like mech deck, you will be like mech control deck. So once you will get this card, you basically have like infinite removals. It depends on your deck, right? But
Yeah, definitely. But I think that Warrior is getting a lot of like armor gains and stuff that can actually, because right now he's got like a lot of sort of whirlwind effects that are damaging and dealing with the board. But I think they're getting a lot of like late game and armor options, which will allow them even the double-sided thing for warriors, the one that gives each player a 2 free weapon and 6 armor, is really good too for like removing minions for them. And even when you play it and you play against like a warlock with the School of Manari, this card is really insane. Or you can play with like Harrison Jones or Ooze or something. So I think Warrior will be like a bit different to what it's being played now, but it's not really being played at the moment that much. On standard at least.
True.
I really like as well the Thunderhead, the 4 mana free 5 shaman guy.
Oh, you remind me one. Yeah, I see. I see which one.
So I think that maybe it's not like that good for standard, but for wild, this card plus the Electra Storm Surge, the legendary that next spells that you play this turn cost twice, plus the elemental, the 3/4 elemental that on Battlecry pulls a 5 mana spell from your deck, so it draws like a volcano.
Yeah. I wanted to speak about this one as well. What was the name of that card which draw 5 mana?
I don't know. If you search for elemental, it's one of the elementals.
Hold
Oh,
on.
it's called Storm Chaser.
Storm Chaser.
Yeah,
This
Storm
one,
Chaser.
this one is really cool. I was thinking about this one today in a way that if you're gonna play some tempo rush shaman deck, which is kind of sticky, which leaves a lot of like crappy minions on the board, and you're gonna play this one on 4 turn, and you will just leave only bloodlust in your deck. It's actually, you will set a little basically, because you will need one bloodlust is equal. Yeah, it depends on the minions, of course. But I was thinking there is another elemental which doubles your spell. So I was thinking if you will manage somehow set this combo, that you will get the bloodlust and you will double the bloodlust. It's 6 damage per minion.
Yeah.
And just frankly speaking, it's not such a hard deal, for shaman to leave some minions, even totems, on a board. So I was thinking that maybe I will try, maybe that might be a way as well.
I think this will be disgusting and wild. The Thunderhead, the first card I was talking about, the 4 mana free 5, like it's whenever you play an overload card. So you play it and you play every time you play like card draw, like the Astral Recall, the 2 mana draw 2 cards. It's only in wild because it's from like Grand Tournament or something like that. But it overloads you for 2, yeah. So you draw cards, or you do a Crackle or a Lightning Bolt. It, every time you do this, it summons 2 1/1 sparks, like 2 of them, with rush.
It doesn't say anytime. It
No,
says
but
rush.
it doesn't say anytime, but it like after you cast it. So every time you cast one spell, not like first time.
Yeah, that's true.
Because otherwise we would say after you cast your next spell or next overload spell. So just because the effect is like continuous, it's really, really good. And most of like control spells in wild have got overload on them. So Yeah. Like the free, what is it? Free 5. So it's just one less health than a
Yeah,
water elemental.
and it's an elemental on top of that, so there is an extra value. 3/5 standalone is not bad card. I mean, it's not the best, but not the
Yeah,
worst.
yeah. I mean, it's
So
one more health than the Storm Chaser, which for 4 mana is like 4 mana free 5 is
yeah, but
free 4 is crappy.
the storm chaser has the biggest value in a way that it gives you exactly next turn some spell which you might
Yeah,
need
yeah.
or just
And it can be depending on like Bloodlust, or
yeah
it can be the Meteor. Or not Meteor, what is it called?
yeah
Volcano.
meteor no no that's the I know volcanic or
Yeah,
volcano
yeah, Volcano.
that one. But anyway, I was thinking about like most of these tempo decks which are running these sticky minions and they are basically trying to smash you down. They depend on if they will draw the bloodlust, and if you will get something which can like make it happen for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That might be like a key changing, like for a shaman. Why not? I will try.
Alright. So you got any more cards that you think are especially
That
cool?
actually you kind of took my storm chaser. I couldn't recall the name, but that was basically that one, which was probably for me one of the most like coolest card. But and another one which is actually the most rated is the academic. That one which I already mentioned for rogue. Like shuffle 10 cards from your opponent's class into your deck. They cost once.
Mm.
So, but I think we will discuss during our most rated, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so from cool cards, I only have the Prismatic Lens. I find that really cool, like the effect. So it's 4 mana, Prismatic Lens, 4 mana,
Prismatic.
draw a minion and a spell from your deck, swap their costs.
I can't recall. Ah, no. Prismatic lens? Are you sure?
Yeah, Prismatic Lens.
Ah, yeah, I know which one. Okay, yeah, that's kind
So
of cool. Yeah,
I think that the effect is like really unique. It's for 4 mana, it draws you 2 cards, so it's
I,
worse than things like Arcane Intellect, but it's a tutor card, so you basically set like kind of what you wanted to draw, and you can do
true.
something like you can have something like Lay on Hands, or in Wild you can have something like anything can happen, and you can play anything can happen, which will swap the minion with cost with something like a Bluegill Warrior, and it will cost 2 mana.
Oh, that's crazy. But it's like pure RNG. I mean,
I
not
mean, kind of, but
necessarily.
kind of
You
not. If
might,
if
yeah.
you only have the spells that like
That's
you know
true.
sometimes it is RNG, but it depends on like how much you have in the deck. And for 4 mana, it's still pretty good to like 2 cards, because you're trying to like thin your deck anyway, right? So sometimes when it works out, you can kill them like numerous turns beforehand. Anyways, yeah. So the wild cards, or the ones that, or you want to do the best cards and then the wild cards? I think the wild cards first, no?
Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Um, so like I've taken it from that account that is good in wild now, and what I think will change it the most. Like what I think will actually push other classes or archetypes to the forefront. Whereas now it's there's a lot of paladin and a lot of Zulok and a lot of big priest and a lot of combo druids and stuff like that. So like which cards are gonna help those archetypes, and which cards are gonna kind of push other to be maybe tier 1 or better than the decks there are now. So I have Biology Project. So that's the 1 mana. Each player gains plus 2 mana
Yeah, I know.
crystals.
I know.
And why I think that's crazy is because apparently the mana crystals are active. So
Yeah, but
it's,
like both players will get it. So
yeah,
yeah, but
both players will get it, but
at your turn you will get active. Yeah, I got the point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like double-sided, but it's not, because
Yeah, you are right because you will use it on your turn. So basically, you're gonna profit more.
yeah.
So, if actually it's gonna give you two, right? So if you're gonna play it on your first turn, you basically got another two. So you can play a wild grow, so we will be at 4.
Yeah.
Or with a coin, you can play another one. I just can imagine like playing
And
this
then and
on like
then play coin into Nourish.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a major bullshit. So I
Ul-
think that that will be like
ultimate
that will be really
infestation,
good.
ultimate infestation on your turn, like 3, like real one.
With a few of the new like Trient card and the like the Floop's Glorious Gloop, the whenever a minion dies gain one mana crystal this turn only. I think that those cards will really help to push like token Trient kind of decks, and yeah, the ramp will be on the other hand like helping the combo decks, which will be helped by the juicy Psych Melon, Sick Melon, to draw the 7, 8, 9, and
Yeah,
10
I know.
mana. But I
Jesus,
think
I
like
actually
if
was
that
trying.
happens, if like the druids are too um prevalent, people are gonna start running things like
Which
uh
counters then?
yeah, they're gonna run things like Skulking Geist and Dirty Rats, and
Hmm.
stuff that can actually break the combo before it happens. Because
That's
kind of
true.
you always have to wait a turn before you use the combo anyway. After this,
But on the other hand, as you mentioned, the Gilkin, I forgot the second name, but anyway, you know which one.
yeah,
It's only it's quite rare, It's only 2 cards you can put in your deck. So I mean, yeah, everyone might play it if such a deck will become so annoying and meta. So everyone will be trying to counter it, and it will be annoying. But still, it's just 2 cards. So the it's not like the biggest counter. So the combo will be still there. It was the same with the Jade Druid. Even though there was that Gulkin whatever,
yeah,
the Jades were still on the top. So it didn't change so much, maybe like few percent.
yeah. But the Geist helps, against other decks now. That's what makes it good. It kills,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Power Shield. It
It's a
kills
good card. Definitely, it's a good card.
the Pact and shit like that.
What
Naturalizes versus
What do you think
Hadronox.
about Cube? Do you think it will survive or the Max will take over?
I mean, since everyone's gonna be playing 2 silences, they're not really in a good position. Or 4
Yeah,
silences, for that matter. Who knows? But yeah, I don't really think that it's gonna be too prevalent, because I think that like
I think
there's
it's
gonna
just
be quite
like
a lot of warriors, and if there's warriors, I think they're all gonna be playing that project. So if you're Q block and you're playing every third game versus a warrior that will like replace your skull with a 2/3 weapon, then you're pretty pissed. So that's why I'm not really sure if it's gonna be that good. But yeah, who knows? Well, in wild is probably gonna be better, but in standard, man.
yeah. Well, I really like that part that they added so many like potential cards which might completely change the wild because there will be so unrevealed like combinations with these cards that
Yeah, like the
it will
mechs.
take it
I
will
think
take
the
a lot.
mechs, like the Mecharoo and the 1/5, the Bronze Gatekeeper and the upgradable Framebot. The taunt one, the 1/5, and the 1/5 2
Yeah, I
mana.
know. Uh-huh.
That would be like crazy additions. I don't really think that other than the cheap mechs, like that the more expensive mechs will really like make an impact, but the cheap ones would be crazy.
Oh my god, I just recall, how was the name that mech which grows every single turn by 1/1? What
Uh,
is the name? If you because if I'm not mistaken, if you magnetize these 2 mechs together, they get the effects right. So you might get like on your 1/5 this effect, or no, on that, because that minion costs 2 mana, that one which grows over time like by every turn. And if you're gonna play that 1/5 with down for 3 mana right
Micro
after,
Machine.
yeah, micro machine right after it, you're gonna get, it depends in which turn and on which stage of that micro machine. But anyway, in the lowest variation, it's gonna be +2, so it's gonna be 3/2 on your next turn,
Hmm.
and that's basically 4/7 with the town and growing. So
Yeah, no, no.
that's kind of crazy, in a
And
while,
it's
of
gonna be
course.
even worse with like mech warpers. Like I think mech warpers are still better than the
Oh
two
yeah.
mana discount mechs in your hand. But because you're never gonna have like that many mechs in your hand, because you're gonna be
Oh my
constantly like spitting
god.
them on the board.
I just recalled that so annoying all the rogues mech deck with those ninja growing
Oh, the
mechs.
+2/+2 at the end of
Oh
turn.
my god, this effect is gonna be
Yeah, that
fucking
was
crazy.
glorious. But it never like survived more than one turn anyway. But if
I
it did, it was so good.
Yeah, but now who knows?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, and that's I think that in wild like the Solarium spell, the 1 mana draw 3 cards and discard them at the end of the turn.
I think that this one will be used the most in zoo decks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I think in wild like Zoo is gonna be like really, really strong. Plus the doubling imp, the 3 mana 2/2 that summons another 2/2 imp. First of all, it can be buffed like in hand, kind of like doppelgangster.
Mm.
Plus, if you have some buffs on board, or if you're playing like the Fungal Mancer or whatever it is, the 5 mana +2/+2 to adjacent minions, like that's really good on them, right? So I think just the fact that it's 3 mana for stats plus their demons, you know,
Hmm.
is gonna be like really insane and wild. I don't know
That,
if
that
it's better than what is it? The 2/4 that summons 1/1 imp. Forgot what it's called. Yeah, it's from Blackrock Mountain. Imp Gang Boss.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah,
It's 2/4 or 2/3.
2/4.
2/4, yeah,
Yeah,
for
so it
its
depends on the deck that
Mhm.
you're playing. Probably like if you're playing something that buffs all your minions +1 attack and stuff like that, it's better than Imp Gang Boss. But Imp Gang Boss is a bit like stickier still. Yeah, so that's probably like what I think will change in wild. Like Zoo is gonna be better. I think that Token Druid is gonna be a lot better.
I think that rogue, like the mill rogue, will get some new potential,
Yeah, Milrogue is gonna be more disgusting, and
especially because of the academic espionage. That for 4 mana which shuffles 10 cards. Even if you will add just a one card, and it's even epic, it will prevail you of
yeah,
so
yeah,
many
no, I
turns.
agree. And plus, like rogues are always gonna be there when the combo druids are getting too out of hand, because they're just gonna be playing cold lights and making you overdraw your combo pieces.
True.
All right, so that's probably for me, and then obviously like mechs, and I think like Death Rattle Hunter is actually gonna be pretty strong.
Yeah, my tip is that the rogue will take over of many other classes, as you mentioned. I mean, in a while, as you
Yeah,
mentioned, there will be so many. I mean, if you're gonna play the mill rogue, you're gonna kind of lose against tempo decks, right? It's kind of quite natural because you will be keep drawing for them. But if you're gonna play against control deck, it's gonna be crazy. You will just destroy their combos, and
yeah,
I kind of wait. Milrock, I mean, that kind of way how to win the game, like through the milling your opponent, is such a unique, and I always like it. It's kind of annoying and frustrating if you play against, but when you play with it, it's really cool.
I agree. I agree. All right, cool. So let's just quickly finish it because we were babbling on for a long time. What is like what do you think is gonna come out as like the strongest cards that is gonna make make the deck go insane?
Well, that's kind of tough because, as I mentioned, there is so many cards. That's the point. As I mentioned, there is 135 new cards, and I would say like at least half of them opens a gate for a new combination, new decks, and just
No,
just
I
so
agree. I
many,
agree.
so many combinations that I can't just pick. But if I should, just give me a second because I think that the most I maybe I might be wrong, But definitely for me, Luna's Pocket Galaxy is one of the most OP cards I've seen
Uh-huh.
because it's gonna change the cost of your minions for one. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what should I say? Aha, it's gonna be so fucking crazy.
I think for me
It's really
I
hard,
mean
bro.
Doctor Boom is gonna be like really good, but to be honest, like I don't know
Not
if
the top. I think it's really good, but not the top because it's
neither
really
is I don't think that the Flub is like the top card rated here on the website is Flubidinous Floop, and I don't think that it's like the top card of the deck of
actually.
the set.
Were you watching latest videos of Creep?
No.
I kind of agree with him because he was reviewing this one specifically, and he said it is a good card. It is a great card, but Druid is already there with combination, and he has no problem to achieve such a combination. So
Yeah.
this kind of card will only help, but it will not change so much, I would
Yeah,
say.
it's like playing
And that's the
you know,
same
if you're
card.
in wild and you're playing Kun to replenish your mana crystals and you're playing Twig at the same
Hmm.
time. You know, you don't
Or
really need both of them, but just in case you don't draw the
yeah,
other one, you've got
exactly,
one.
exactly. And there is another card actually which will increase. I mean, the Druid one, and that's the Dream Petal Florist, which reduce the cost of your minion by 7. So it's just like the same kind of concept. It will help to achieve this combination,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I think like one of the strongest ones for me is probably the one mana gain 2 crystals, just because like it boosts you, and if you play for ramp, like you care more about your mana crystals than you care about the opponent.
also, yeah, sorry, sir.
And the 1 mana, the Solarium as well. The 1 mana draw 3 cards, and at
Yeah,
the end of
draw three
your
cards. I agree with this.
it's
This
for
card.
fucking 1 mana. I can't
It's
believe
one
it.
mana. Yeah, it is fucking crazy. But
It's
at the
it's like
same,
the you know the magic card the Dark Pact. It's like for 1 black mana you gain 3 mana for that
uh,
turn.
for me, probably another card which is gonna be crazy in this meta because a lot of max is Zilix.
Yeah.
Because if you consider it gives you Divine Shield, Down, Lifesteal, and Rush, and if you have already some huge minion on the board, it will give you so many lives back. You can basically survive because of that minion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And you can actually attack with that mag and then use it and attack again because it's gonna give a rush. So it's
Yeah, no, I agree. It's gonna be kind of disgusting.
that's hard, As when you said like pick, let's say one of the which is gonna be the most, which is gonna be the best, and it's really hard to say.
I call it I call
There
it
is
now the
many.
best card, the most I think that the most cards that will be playing most the widest range of decks is upgradable framebot. The 1/5
Yeah,
for 2 mana
probably.
mech.
I
Like I
mean,
think
I
that
think.
that will be in most decks across the board.
I mean, if you gonna play a mech deck, this one will be part of your deck for
Yeah.
sure. Like
But
for
I
sure.
think that even if you're not playing a mech deck, you're just trying to like prevent the rush of, aggro paladins and stuff because they summon 2/1/1s every single turn,
That's true. Yeah,
and you
I
don't have
agree.
that
But
many board clears to deal with them. You can play this into Tar Creeper next turn, into like more defensive tools and survive for that much longer just because you can kill 5 of their 1/1s for 2 mana.
oh, by the way, I just encountered the card which I was speaking before. It's
Mm-hmm.
the Necro Mechanic, and your death rattle triggers twice. So let's say that this card will somehow survive on the board before you will play that Hunter's Legendary, which summons this bomb. You know which one? I don't know. The goblins bombs.
Yeah.
So it will trigger twice. So basically, it's gone because you will give 32 damage for sure for 9 mana. So that's crazy for me.
That's pretty good.
Another one which is probably for me, I mean for Shaman, if someone will be playing Shaman, he will definitely play that Storm Chaser.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's very good. And just with the combination with the Electra and the Thunderhead, I think that like Elemental Shaman has another like really good go. Even
Yeah.
the two mana, the Menacing Nimbus, 2 mana, 2/2 elemental, add a random elemental to your hand. It's decent, you know. Like if it
Well,
was a 2/3, it would have been a bit too strong because it basically gives you another card
well,
to play.
since we speak about Shaman, another crazy card, in my opinion, is Omega Mine. Because basically you can get so many healths back. If it's gonna be really crucial for you. Let's say you will have really low HP and
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna play on 10 turn this one you, with a lot of spells, or just with a Vulcano, you will get 15 HP back.
Yeah, no, it's true.
That's a lot. You can get. You will clear a board and get 15 HP back against some tempo, but basically there's a win condition.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But
Yeah,
as I said, there
I
is
think
tons of.
that this topsy turvy. It's like the one next to it, the priest. Just before we probably wrap it up, it's a
Mhm.
priest 0 mana spell, swap a
I
minion's
know
attack
which
and
one.
health,
I see. Mhm.
and I don't even see how it got 4 stars. Like I think that it's way worse
Really?
than silence.
You know what? I actually think it's really good because it's for 0 mana, and there is actually a lot of minions which either you can counter your opponent. So this is what I like. It doesn't say like friendly or enemy. You
Yeah,
can choose. So it's a very flexible card, and there is a lot of actually cards which has actually a huge boost of HP, like the ungradable frame bot.
yeah. Like in this situation, it's better. But there's gonna be like in this meta, I think that like if you choose in between this and silence, like I would always choose silence.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Unless you
Or
like already are playing 2 silences and you don't want to for some reason play mass dispel, because it's for priest. I don't know. I just don't. It's like again, it's good versus Doomsayer, but so is
well,
silence,
mm,
and stuff.
let's say that you might you might want to do like steal the minion. So in that case, this card might be really good for 0 mana because
Well, yeah, there are certain scenarios that yeah, but I think that overall like it is
I would say
usable.
that the biggest value is from that mana cost. Like it's just 0 mana. So
Yeah,
if you're gonna run some deck around
can
like
play
stealing minions,
Lyra, what I'm saying,
yeah,
and discount it to -1 mana with Radiant Elemental.
yeah,
Or just in case he plays, a low tab, you can play the you can have it only for +4 mana. All right. Anyways, we're babbling on. Let's finish it. All right. Any final thoughts?
Well, my final thought would be probably regarding patch itself. I think it's that Blizzard did really good job, and I'm glad it's that Ben Broad was actually probably participating on this patch as well, one of his latest, and I believe they did really good job this time. I usually shits on their head, but this time I must say like almost all of these cards has some value. It's not just like some
Mm.
raging elemental, which does nothing. So
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. A lot of them are like even if they're niche, they have something like they have rush and they summon 1/1s, or like I really like that they're like basically venturing into different effects, and they don't really make that effect for like 5 different cards, but they maybe make it for 1 or 2 different
mm-hmm.
cards. One of the cool ones, it's like we haven't really spoken about it, but it's the 1 mana 1/1 free crystallizer, and deals 5 damage to a hero and gains 5 armor. So that basically is for like the decks that want to play cards like Light Warden or something that like benefits from you having some life, away, but you
No,
don't
that's
have
true.
weapons or you don't have anything to, damage yourself. Like you don't have the Warlock Kobold thing that damages you, but you need to be damaged for some reason. So like those cards are really cool. for to enable it. Just the fact that they did more legendary spells that are not all quests, or none of them are quests. That's really, really good. Or the fact that they, instead of like releasing a new set of Death Knights, they just make one new hero class per set. It's pretty cool. So last time it was Shaman, this time it's Warrior. So there's gonna be like the hero classes are gonna be like sort of rotating in standard as Knights of the Frozen Throne, rotates out. So that's gonna be actually cool because it's kind of gonna create this
That's
weird
true.
balance. And yeah, overall I'm liking it. They're ironing out, like they're learning from past mistakes. So instead of releasing a whole lot of charge minions, they know that they can release rush minions without getting too worried
Yeah,
about
that's
like
true. That's
what's
true.
gonna
I mean,
happen.
that was actually quite a good step, when they decided to make. I mean, when I saw it first, I was kind of pissed because they brought nothing new. But over
Mm-hmm.
time, it's good because now they can make much more like situational cards and with the rush, and at the same time, it will not affect like some OTK crazy combinations.
Mm.
So that's what I really like.
And they, even though they're kind of being like inspired definitely from goblins versus gnomes, they're kind of avoiding the same mistakes, like when you were talking about the bomb, the 0-2 bomb that
Oh yeah,
explodes and
yeah,
goes face. Like it's kind of a benefit for you because you know that it always goes face and you can count on it instead of like hoping for it to go
that's
face.
true. That's
But then
true.
it's not as infuriating for your opponent when he like hits it with the 1-1 and it kills your Zoo Drake for 4, like with boom bots from Doctor
Actually,
Boom.
you just recalled me one memory when we played against each other.
Yeah,
That was one of our. Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah.
how I
True, true,
called it?
true.
I mean, I was just. There was 7 minions, including my fucking face, and it hit exactly that one in stealth, more or less. I was just like
No, it
so.
was too much. I agree.
And I even
Honestly.
call it. I even call it. That was the worst. But anyway, with that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed our little talk. And there is much more to say about these cards, but it would take like hours and hours and hours. So we try to pick our most favorite. And yeah, as I said, I hope you like it. So your final thought.
My final thoughts is that I can't wait until day after tomorrow. I still haven't bought the pre-order, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. And yeah, I'm like GVG was my favorite expansion, so I'm really looking forward to it. And even though it's gonna be a lot of bollocks with like Max, I think, like I said, I think that Blizzard kind of like learned from the past mistakes,
Yep.
and it's not releasing like crazy power creeps. Like some of the cards might seem like a power creep, but they're not. Like I think it's actually quite kind of a balance set that will change a decent amount of gameplay. So yeah, that's it.
That's it. So have a great night. Have a great day. And see you next time, guys.
See you in Boomsday. All right, take
Bye
care.
bye.